Okie dokie. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, we got a couple of tickers. Let's go look at D-Nut first thing in the morning. Good morning, Joker. And everyone that is currently here, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to do that as well. All right, some D-Nut. Some D's nuts. All right, what do we got here? Following the trend. This is the chart that I did for you last time. As you can see, we are still in the zones that I have predicted overall. We did not break out like we were hoping for. It happens. D-Nut still doesn't have a lot of pressure in terms of business. However, they did send me an email about something that they are releasing. So there are big news coming out for D-Nut. Right now, they're still kind of in this area. There was red earnings as well. Yeah, 117% surprise. That is freaking rough. Okay. Yeah, so it is looking like we're going to have a further pullback than probably anticipated. 285 does seem pretty reasonable according to this block detector. This could be a bigger bounce, though. We could come down and hit this again, this zone. Every time we come here, we do bounce. So let's see. What are you asking per se for D-Nut there, Joker? Hello, KBL or KBLD. How are you? And good morning. 301. Okay, hold on. Let me look. I think it's very possible that we will see this lower end, though. Because of the red earnings. I'm just letting you know. Do not be surprised if we do come and touch the 283. Now with the 301 that you're talking about, it's about a middle section, yes, but we still have those wick downs. So I'm gonna say, let's see, hold on. In terms of the trend, $290 right here. Why? Because it does touch here a lot. In terms of every historical event when it does pull back this hard, 290 has been its go-to. And as you can see, the last time we had some shit where this happened, but then we had a green earnings and this thing climbed back up again. And we had a green earnings the last pull back like this. So I'm forewarning you, it's going to pull back harder than you think because we do have red earnings. Again, with that being said, however, okay, we've had times where we've had red earnings and it fucking ran. So just keep that in mind, okay? But yeah, 290 seems pretty reasonable. We have historical events to prove why. And that's what we need to be looking for is the overall historics. 301, I do see what you're talking about here. However, I think that we will have further breakdown due to earnings being red. So just be mindful. It's based off the 2-day. Let's go to the 2-hour. I'm going to zoom in. Let's get some more information here. Yeah. Okay. See, this is just validating what I was saying. I'm saying about 290. Order blocks are agreeing about 294. So this is where people are expecting it because of the overall historic pullback. So just be mindful, Joker. I would buy more if that's what if you're accumulating here. On the off chance 308 instead of 301 about a 308. There's a lot of evidence here too. Okay. Any other tickers? Hi, TP. Long time no see, monsieur. Hey, TP, have any tickers for me? I'm doing good. Thanks for joining my live, by the way. That's very kind of you. Especially since this isn't music, it's more stocks. By the way, how's the music level? Do I need to turn that down? Yeah, I did send him the link that I was on. We're waiting for Eric to get up. Why does work hate you? Here, I'm gonna switch songs here in a second. I'm gonna look for, okay, these are the other ones. Let's go to the other collection. Let's go to my actual like playlist here. Nope. Oh, let's listen to one that we haven't listened to in forever. Where is it? TP, I'm gonna find your song so we can play it. I gotta do it for the old time's sake. This one. I'm gonna turn it up. We gotta jam out.
She walks in the room, the air gets still. Every step she takes, hearts start to thrill. Eyes are drawn like magnets to her light.
Awesome. I'm gonna actually do a little bit of a teaching today. So if you stick around, I'll go over and teach you what to do in terms of looking for trends and stuff like that, just so then you have a little bit of knowledge under your belt. So just stick around.
Like the moonlit sky, she's endless divine, got the world caught up in her perfect shine.
She's got all the eyes on her, can't look away. A beauty so rare, it makes the whole world sway. Every move she makes is like a melody, a queen in her own right, pure symmetry. She's got all the eyes and they all agree. She's the definition of what beauty should be.
The way she talks, it's like poetry and sound. Every word she speaks makes the world go round. Her confidence flows like an ocean so wide. Everywhere she goes, she turns the tide.
Her laughter's a song, and it's all I hear. Every moment with her, the sky feels clear. With a touch so soft, and a heart so bold. She's a story untold, yet worth its weight in gold. She's got all the eyes on her, can't look away. A beauty so rare, it makes the whole world sway. Every move she makes is like a melody, a queen in her own right, pure symmetry. She's got all the eyes and they all agree. She's the
Okay, back to order of business. I was just jamming, reminiscing this song. TP and I and Eric, this was like TP's Creeper Stalker song that I made a long time ago. Shit is so funny. Okay, so I did want to go over, before we get too far onto DNUT, since we already kind of talked about what I'm seeing level-wise for this pullback due to red earnings. The market is going to be going through some massive changes, especially since, Trump is in office and a list of other things, right? We have new oil reserves that are about to start taking over next couple of months, years, who knows? Depends on how things pan out, especially with all the news about, the war that's going on. Our gas prices are absolutely absorbing our pockets and a list of other things, okay? This is still good for the economy overall, and we are seeing a lot of pullback and a lot of red right now in terms of the market. And we need this to happen, right? It happens every year. It doesn't matter what time of the year. There's always something massive that happens. Sometimes downtrends, they stick around longer than some years, okay? We need this pullback because number one, inflation has absolutely demolished a lot of, the public people's pockets and their pocketbooks and a list of other things. Like, we don't travel as much as we used to, and we don't go out as much as we used to, and it is hurting a lot of businesses. I mean, if we look at AMC, GME and stuff like that, like, people are not going to the theater as often as they used to. There's things that it's a huge scale change. And I truly believe with my heart that these changes are going to be beneficial, that we're about to start witnessing by next year, 2027. And I just want people who are in the market to understand not to be alarmed by these massive red longevities. These are a reset. And we need this reset. People want to talk about the market crash and this and that. That is a fear-mongering mentality. The market always does this. And you need to stop believing the fear. The more you feed fear, the more they're going to sell to you because you buy it. You buy into the bullshit. Okay? Stop it. The market has to do this. This is normal price action. Price has to come down. It doesn't forever go up. Now, SPY may be the exception of what we see in that, but SPY also will have to tank at some point. Maybe not as far as we want it to tank, but it will eventually have to come down. What goes up must come down. Laws of gravity. But I wanted to put that out there for people that will watch this live in a later date, because we can get so consumed by all the whispering and the talk on TV, on the news. It doesn't matter. You need to separate yourself from a lot of that. It's just noise. It's white noise. It's just a way to fill the void for what's going on. Half the time, they're spitting shit out their ass, okay? I'm just saying, like, they don't know. The market goes through its cycles, just like humans go through their cycles. Just like the rock cycle, the water cycle. It doesn't matter. Everything has a cycle. History repeats itself. But this history, again, can change. Anything can be redirected. Anything can have a massive, run. We've seen it. But these have to be met by certain, criterias. So, like, volume, number one. Money talks in the market. And that's why we see massive drops as well, as people pull their money out. And it's not always just people pulling money out. It's sometimes just, the market's going through its cycle. It's on an algorithm. It's run by AI, and it's been ran by AI for way before AI really started being the talk of the town. It is on a system, and it has to follow its algorithm. And people don't understand that. And I need you to understand that the algorithm is mostly in charge. Now, can money change the algorithm? Yes. But not so much to the point where it doesn't go and follow its algorithm. It will have little spurts of volume that it can't control it. And that's why we see the halts. That's why we see, the market makers step in. They have to. We have to, follow the trend. The algorithm needs to stay in accordance. Now, sometimes they allow it to happen. Why? Because they're probably in it. Let's be honest. It's not that it's criminal per se. In every aspect, there are some criminal ways that they do, manipulate it. But you have to understand that there has to be a level of control over this, or we would be seeing a lot of whales making billions of dollars. Not that we don't already, but I'm just saying there are restrictions, and there's things that they have to follow in terms of their business and their side of things. Like, they have a list of rules that they have to follow as well. So don't be alarmed. I do believe that we're about to see a lot of red for a while, but I do know we're going to have some pretty substantial breakouts come this summer and into October. They like to call October Red October, but that's only for certain stocks, and it's not always the same stock that is in Red October. Red October is a saying that people like to say. It's another method of just like fear-mongering. And hello. Sorry. Yes, I do go on my spirits. Hold on one second. Yeah, I did kind of go on my spurt today. And there's a reason that I go on my spurts. I think you guys understand that, because it's not just you guys that are going to be watching my videos. Live feed, please. No, I'm not. I'm in pajamas. Like, I decided to do this on a whim. Like, literally, I was having my morning coffee and I was like, you know what? I haven't gone live and talked about stocks in a while, and I think I want to. So I'm not all dressed up. So no video and no tarot card pulls because I'm not on video. Hold on. I see it. Let me. Pajamas. There. Yeah, they say a door on the front of it. Good morning, Eric G. You missed it, Eric. We played TP's. Oh, hold on one second. I'm getting a call.
The sun is shining bright and the sky is blue. There's nothing in this world that I can do. We're living for the moment, chasing all our dreams tonight. We're never looking back now. Everything is gonna be
I just got invited to breakfast, but I told her I'm live streaming, so she's actually like, well, I probably should go take a nap anyway. I'm like, okay, well, if you wake up in about an hour, call me. Okay, so Eric, like, we played that one, the beauty song, the Stalker TP song, and then TP was like, I should go play the rock song that he made for me. That's so funny, dude. Pajamas. Yes, the pink pajamas. Okay, so is there any other tickers we need to... Well, okay, hold on. I went on my tangent. Let's get back to Archer. I wanted to talk about Archer. This is why I was talking about what I was talking about before I got interrupted. 32 people trying to talk to me all at once. My mom's calling. My son came in. He just woke up. Anyways, okay, back to what I wanted to talk about. All right, so Archer Aviations is currently going through a massive pullback, okay? As you can see on my 2 hours, this is a head and shoulders formation, and it is playing out. So overall, we could potentially already be where this is proclaiming that it is at, okay? But I wanted to show you... Yeah, no, we gotta... It's close, though. It's like about 566 to 563, maybe. But I do feel like this is going to fall farther down. Why am I saying this? Because we did break below the 200 EMA and the 50 EMA, which is a tall tale sign. This is going to have a little bit farther of a pullback. And if things do continue this way, we could bounce right around here is what I'm saying, about 552, because in terms of the trend, okay, and as you can see, I have a lot of little things going on here. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the bi-weekly. What song is this? Hold on, I'm skipping. Ooh, back to my stockies. All right, so as you can see, we've actually, this is a it's not quite an overtaking bar, but we did go way below a 50% here. Now, it has about 3 days before this 2-week bar closes. Listen, this is going to pull back a lot harder than people are going to really like in terms of who is in. But this is a good thing, okay? Because I'm going to buy more, and I don't know about you, but I will be buying more of this because I know what I see in terms of this business, and I'm in for it. Now, I do have quite a few triangles here. Why do you think I did this? Well, I like to document historics. I love it. I love to document historical times and how stocks move. And as you can see, there's a massive difference between this time and this time that I have a separate triangle for. And then now I have another one and another one. Okay. There's about 4 triangles here overall. Now I document patterns. And what I'm seeing in terms of what is happening here, again, this pattern here is repeated in a more dramatic sense. But as you can see here, we had something happen, right? As soon as we had this massive breakdown, we had a spike and then we fell. That is what I am seeing happening and repeating right now. So we had something like this happen, but it's not as dramatic as that last one, which tells me that wasn't it. But we did fall. Okay. That's that fall. There's this. It kind of clustered up here. This is the fall. We're about here in terms of the historical blah, 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 whatever. But this time, instead of this bar being above for this pullback, we're alongside it, which means this pullback will probably come, the English was fucking easy, about to 495. Okay. And I'm guesstimating here. Again, everything, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this financial advice, but we're going to fall back. We're going to pull back pretty hard. And then we're going to bounce probably harder. I'm seeing something stronger in terms of what is going to happen in terms of historics and stuff like that. So if we do fall about where I'm saying that 495, let me get back. We'll just say 499. Okay. And I got to adjust some lines here. I love patterns. I love seeing this, because if history repeats itself from this 499, oh my God, look how perfect that is. I cannot make it any more perfect to what I see in terms of this massive, like 1487. I'm telling you, this bounce from that 499 is going to project us out of this falling wedge. After we break out of this falling wedge from this head and shoulders breakdown that is happening right now, okay, we will see that 1487. Once we cross over this 1487, okay, because this is historic from the IPO opening. When this stock originally first started, we did see that 14. We also saw up to an 18, okay, from its IPO start. And then that's where it fell to oblivion, down to its $1.70 for its retracement to these newer highs. Okay, once we break out of this falling wedge, it's game over. We're going to see the 2050, and I've seen even higher than that. 2050 in between that 1487 will be its price's new value, like true to value. If I I need to slow down. It's going to be its next actual value price. Okay, again, that's where it's going to be its normal, like, flow state to those highs. Now, when you buy in after you sell and take your profit, it's going to be, when it does have its breakdowns again, it's probably going to be around $10 to about this $8.59. That'll be true value to buy. To sell is going to be in between the $20 and the $14.87 for maybe about 3 years. Well, maybe it depends. So let's say that their airport and their planes start doing taxi services. That could, and let's say they do it in a year, which is what they're predicting. Okay. Well, not really. 2027, I think they have their air show coming up. I have to go look at their meeting schedule or whatever. But when this does happen, this is where you're going to want to sell. So you're going to want to buy low, obviously. So somewhere in that $8, you want to try to get that 8 to 760 range, because it does wick. We know historically it will wick. Want to try to buy in these zones and then sell up here in the 20 to 1487. This is what this next pattern is going to look like. It's going to be like a copy and paste in different, font, essentially. Okay. Like this one. This copy and paste in a different font. Anyways, I think I explained it as well as I could. All right, now I'm back to checking the chat. Sorry, I went on my tangent. Let's go overlook. Hi, Leon. Oh, no, that's Joker. My bad. I didn't realize you put Lion's Den in there. I thought I saw Lion. I was wrong. My bad. Alright. Alright, actually a nice, beautiful instruction, but tourists. Hey, congratulations, TP, on your 40 pounds. Hey, listen, I'm trying to catch up here. Yeah, no, it's because Joker's name had Lion in it, so I thought it was Leon. I was wrong. I just saw Lion and just immediately thought Lion. That's it. No, okay, so TP, so speaking on that, right? Half of the stuff that I've heard about that we did spending on, like sending all these other countries money for their free healthcare, is such bull. Like, why did they get to have all these luxuries under us? Like, our money, our taxes. Take it from your fucking civilians. Ridiculous. I haven't either, Eric. Never been to the White House. Alright, let's go over BB. I'll try not to yap too much. But I probably will. I say I won't, but then I do. Okay, so in terms of BB, I did a whole back test for BB. I don't know if you saw this, TP, when I was doing your chart for your lovely BB. But I did an entire back test for you. And this is what it looks like. It is completely a clusterfuck. But it's a beautiful clusterfuck because it has a lot of information and data. And I wanted to tell you... Well, you've already seen this chart. As you can see, we're starting to have that slight pullback here on BB. That 3.1... English. 3.61%. Okay? This is good. Healthy. We need this pullback. It's probably going to come bounce off of this zone, this crossover, that 513, because we got to fill the gap. Okay. Now, does it always need to fill a gap? No. However, on the off chance that it does not pull back that hard, it will probably bounce off this purple line here, because what that is my invisible triangle formation. Okay. I didn't use the actual, like, this thingy, the actual triangle. I just put my line. Okay. Because I know what a triangle looks like. You know what a triangle looks like. And in terms of what is going on here, we did break out of this falling wedge. That's been going on since, whatever fuck this is, August 2011, okay? If this breakout is true to its nature, as we all hope it is, okay? Let me just move my little thingy here. This is a breakout, right? Probably see that 2051 to this 2183 on that note, okay? That will be the first massive, like, inflection change. But let's go and take overall historics, okay? And this is just me copying and pasting from... Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take from this floor, where we're at right now, and where we bounced from. And we're just going to go like this, okay? From that. I'm not going to take the full length. Hold on one second. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Wow, TP left while I was doing his stocks. That's crazy. Unbelievable. Can't do nothing. TP's going the ojos locos. In and out, bro. Rant incoming. Man, y'all judging me over here? You know, I could just keep all of my information to myself and then you'll have no stocks. All right. Okay. All right. Up on Sophie. Hey, I'm up on Met-C too. I've been playing Met-C covered calls because I got out of my last one. And right now, I'm like $3 away from making $45. Z-scaler? What is a Z-scaler? Please no. Okay, you know what? Because you asked nicely, I will help. Okay, hold on. I wanted to show you. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna multitask real quick here. Let me show you for TP. Since he's gone, I'm gonna just show you guys. He can come back and like zoom or like scroll back a little. But I want to show you. So in terms of the historics, right? This leap here, and this could also be in the same time frame. Okay, from this date here. Let me click the line from 03 to 08. That's about 5 years. In the next 5 years, if BB has this massive breakout, which I do truly believe it will, okay, because BB have completely done a 360 in their business format and a list of other things, okay. Let's move it. Let's go over here. This is the breakout. Again, we want to go to the breakout. Why? Because that's where we're seeing, or this is like where we start, and this is what we're seeing in terms of history repeating itself again, okay. And as you can see, I'm sure somebody back here would have done that same thing back in 2021. Okay. And let's see, since 21, we're in 26. So yeah, this actually, okay, it lines up about with that 5 years. Hold on. What I'm going to do actually, hold on. Listen, why do you think I'm doing this? Because if we are in that 5 year mark, wow, it would have been here in 25, right? But let's see. Let's move to where like hypothetically the 5 year would have started here. So in 27, which would make more logical sense. It would be close to 148.73, which actually lines up with its last overall historical value. Logically. Which obviously does, right? Because I did line it up with history. Right, we would be back in that range. Now, on the off chance that breakout would be somewhere a little bit up here, probably somewhere here, that 164.91. So I have a range now, because we have overall, like, so here, let me show you this part here, and then I'll come and look at comments, because I want to show you why I would pick that spot, like this line, this line here, this little area, because this is where we know where transition happens. And if we zoom in, I'm going to show you what I mean by transition. Hold on, let me see how loud the music is. I'm going to turn this down. Oh, okay, that's too low. Can you still hear the music? ZS? Okay, I'll look at it here in a second. I'll look at ZS. Let me finish TPs. Okay. So this is where the transition happens historically. Now, this one's a little bit higher up for this pullback, but when this last transition happened to where we had that huge inclination in terms of price, we did have a little bit of its sideways history, okay? But this is where the transition happened. We had that breakout. We had the pullback to validate price. We did not break below a certain range of pullback. So this is on the weekly. So if I went to like let's say the monthly, hold on, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because this is going to teach you something. So pay attention. Okay, back to this spot here. As you can see here, on the monthly, and this is why we lessen the noise, okay? This has less noise going on from, the candlesticks. On the monthly, we stayed in this zone. We wicked down into here, yes, 1733, but it was not more than 50% of this bar, of this breakout. And that is information you need. Once we validate this price action, and it bounced, not only bounced, but it closed as a spinning top doji, okay? That should have been your cue, right? This should have been your buy bar, right? Why? Because this tells you continuation. Now, they call it an indecision bar. However, we closed above I think that's the 8 EMA. One second, let me double check, because I just want to make sure I'm not. 8 EMA. EMA 1. Yeah, 8 EMA. We closed above the 8 EMA, and that is important. Now, the reason I use the 8 EMA and the 2050 and stuff like that is because I found out, so 8 is like closer to price. And when price closes above itself, it's a good sign of continuation. All right, I learned that. I've been studying this information for you. Now you know, okay? Back to what I'm saying here. This was a foolproof, and this is where the change, like I said, in between the zone, this is where the change happened. This was the validation we needed for this continuation. Now, did we trend sideways for a while? Yes, but we had to. We had to make sure price had enough momentum. As you can see, we still stayed within our restraints here with a few wick downs for that cash gab, okay? But we stayed true to price. And this was just validating overall price action that was going on. This was like the pressure building up for this massive breakout. And why do I think this is going to happen again? Well, let's come over here. Now, this is going to be in a lower end of the trend because it's been going on for so long. And if we come over here and look at terms of price, yes, it doesn't look as promising as this last time. However, we got to understand BlackBerry, that was its booming time because of the BlackBerry phone. BlackBerry is not a phone anymore. This is a completely different company in terms of what they represent now. They're not selling cell phones. But we're seeing, still in historics here, we're starting to see this pattern in a lower trend. We already attempted to try to break out here back in 2021. And now we're entering into this zone in terms of how this falling wedge has been going and however long it's been. I honestly don't know. We can find out. Give me 1 second. It's been from 2011 to 2020 to about 2028, but that's not quite it. 2026, okay? It's been a long effing time this falling wedge has been happening. Now, this is a breakout. And in about 10 days, if this can close and hold this breakout, we're going to see this climb, okay? It won't be overnight, obviously, as all you know. We need to get above the 200 EMA, which is this yellow line here, which is at about 1215, okay? To get there, we will have to, validate some zones. Overall, like the 978 is going to be the biggest hurdle for this next phase, 100%. But once we get it back above and we can hold true, okay, like we tried to do here, if we can stay within without breaking far down below, we will see that $20 and that $21.79, okay? And then this will be that next phase 2 of the next continuation before we start seeing this 148 to 80, you know what I mean? Because there's always going to be more phases that have to come after that. So like 49.79 or 97, okay? But I just wanted to put that out there for TP. That is what I am seeing. Overall historics. I truly believe that BlackBerry, with this new, position, they can see those highs again, if not higher, especially since, their company completely transitioned to something that is growing industry-wise, okay? And that's my little thing on that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next ticker. ZS. All right, let's go look at ZS. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go read some of the chat real quick. That's why I asked. I think there will be a chance to jump in soon. I don't see dividends. No dividends. Welcome back, TP. You're going to have to scroll back and see what I talked about for BB. I went on a tangent like I always do. All right, so let's get back to the charting. Let's zoom in a little bit though. Head and shoulders, and that was a massive head and shoulder breakdown compared to what it was showing. However, let's go. When in doubt, zoom out. Bi-weekly, show me what you know. Double peak formation, M formation breakdown. Okay, let's go. Let's look at the 4 weeks. There's a cross about here, which is where we're at, where that cross happened last time, but this is telling me we're falling. So I'm going to tell you right now, just so you're aware, this is still breaking down. This is going to reject. So it's looking like a false breakout. It's I'm just going to let you know, because these two lines crossed here is a full-on rejection. So green is money and blue is like, you know, volume. It's not really fact, but it's like, well, maybe it is. But I know that green is money, but this is telling me that something isn't lining up correctly. So last time that this happened, when we crossed, and we crossed not too long ago. Actually, it's pretty close in terms of where it crossed last time too. I'm going to add that because that's important information. So they could bounce. So if blue bounces here, we could probably course correct. On the off chance not. And we are actually at a cross here too. This is that golden cross, but we have a death cross here. Give me a second. Okay, last time we crossed, right when we crossed, where is that? Yeah, and that's what it's doing. It goes up and it'll look like it's going to break out. It's a false breakout. Let's just look at historics. Let's say it goes and tries to touch this EMA here. That's the 50. 90. 9016. Which is validated here. Wow, that's crazy. But when was that? In 2019. Yeah. You know what? Let's see though. Which means we could probably get 82 out of it. 79 maybe. Hold on. That seems pretty logical actually. Seems like a good range, honestly. What about here? I'm going to put... here's what I'm going to do. This is where I would buy in this range. But I'd be more on the slower end because I do think we would wick somewhere here depending on how much money is being moved. Let's turn this orange. Just so we have a different color, kind of indicating a good pickup spot. This is where you would want. I would set an alert on maybe your stock for a cross of 107.20 just to let you know that this is breaking down and to alarm you to start watching for price entries. And maybe if you want to buy the dip, so as it's falling down below that 107.20, I would buy. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so this is not financial advice, but I would buy, like, if it hit even at the 90.79, I would buy. That's where I would pick up. Now, when this happens, what happens after the pullback? That's the next order of operation. So now I gotta go look for gravitational pull, which looks to be somewhere around here, 102.15. This is where that inflection is really going to start taking place. Again, I'm going to zone this out because this is not, what is that? Not quite there. Maybe somewhere right here. Yeah, that looks about right. And then somewhere down in this zone. So this looks more like the area of gravitational zone. And I'm going to change this color as well. I'm just going to turn this blue. This is going to be our gravitational zone. And what that is it's essentially where price is going to be pulled or pushed, okay? It's like the flow state. So the gravitational zone, either in terms of how much, money, okay, because money makes the market move. It's either going to push it farther down or it's going to pull it right back up. So depending on how many, which actually we can check that right now. Hold on one second. And then I'll give you my full diagnosis. I don't know if that one works. No, that one doesn't work anymore. Hey, don't you start your shit, okay? I forgot that one doesn't work anymore. Okay. Holy shit, that's a huge green area. Let me hide my marks here. So, wow. 81. Look. And look, I didn't have that up. I did. But look at our zones. Look at my zone here. Let's hide these. Look at my zone. This is how fucking good I am at this shit. I'm just telling you. Okay. So, yeah, oops, better not move that. This is where I'm seeing. This is where you could get in. I'm telling you, some people are putting about 80. And I have about 79.43 at its low. And then if I turn this on, they're trying to project about 70.13 entry. But I wouldn't go that low, personally. I don't think it's going to go that low, especially in terms of how, valuable this particular company looks. But I think you could get, like I was telling you about that 90.16, which is where that darker green is, that crossover. This is where the most money is at. And this is where it would wick the most, in my personal opinion. Here, let me hide my drawings so then we can just kind of analyze this. Do you see this? This is a bright green zone. This is where a lot of money is. In terms of the market will go and grab as much cash as it possibly can to feed itself. So when this does essentially break down, this is where you need to look in terms of entry. Somewhere in this zone. Again, like I was saying about that $90 range. Isn't that crazy? I love it when my predictions are freaking spot on. I'm amazing. Not to toot my own horn, but I can. Because I did the work, so I get to do that. But yeah, this gravitational zone is where I would watch price. So I'd put, like I was telling you, a notice or like a ping on your phone or whatever stock app you use that will notify you when price drops here. So you can watch. I want you to just witness the gravitational zone because when it does hit this, it's either going to spit it out like it did here in April of 2023, or it's going to pull it down, which how can I say this? Last time it entered this zone, okay, we saw it kind of bounce in this zone. It didn't really do much, but it did pull it down, and we do have a wick here that just kind of validates that, but it's not, we haven't had historically for this particular stock where it's pulled it back hard, like hard. So that could happen in the future, not right this second, but in the future. It could have a moment where when it does hit this gravitational zone from this area, that it could pull it down pretty hard. I don't think it will this time because, again, the stock looks like it has a pretty decent accumulation overall of what it's worth. But yeah, so this zone is where you're going to know if price is going to pull back further and to start setting up for potential buy-in here. Now, after this happens, let's find the breakout. So we have our zone for the gravitational zone. After we come down here, again, I still feel like you could probably get about 90.20 because that's that huge green area. I'm going to hide that though so I can see. Breakout. Let's take this one first. Back to the gravitational zone. I'm going to say about middle section here. 269. Very nice. Very nice. That seems pretty logical in my opinion. And I can zone that. We're going to delete these lines. Don't need all the fucking lines anyway. Actually, let's do red. We have too many. Boom. Okay. Which logically speaking, yes, that seems reasonable. We do have a triple here. And that would have been like that cup and handle formation that broke out too. I just want to see overall. I want to see how much of that price was true. I think we're supposed to go to the top here. Actually, hold on. Yeah, no. It's about here. About 30% of, about 50 to 30% of that bar. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's not a bad incline. So we know that there's a percentage of price that is predicted that will not be filled in terms of their cup and handle formations. It's a good bit of information to keep on hand. Actually, can we measure that? Let's see. Give me a second. I'm going to measure this so we know about the percentage that it doesn't. It's approximate. It won't be every time, but it's an approximate. About 12%. So I'm going to add that to my notes here just so next time we check this. What? It didn't work? Oh, no, it did. Okay, I was like, where is my thing? 12. No, actually, yeah, 12.2. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to say about 12%. 12% of cup and handle not. That's what I'm going to say, not paid out. Ooh. We're going to keep that information. It's important. Some important information. What else? Let's see if, yeah, this is, okay, hold on. I will check the chat, guys. I'm looking at stuff. 201.58 is a rejection zone. I am going to mark that. Let's add a dotted line to that. So this is kind of rejection. Can I label it? That's where I'm predicting rejection for this when it tries to break back out of this falling trend that we're about to witness, which is about probably 12%. I'm just kidding. A little less than maybe like 5%. Now it's not too far off. 6% is good enough. What do I know about this zone here? It's about how much room we have left before the next fall. We have a gravitational zone down here, which means this would be the next gravitational zone after it officially breaks out of this area. Wow, that's almost lined up perfectly. That's true price right there. In terms of what's going on right now. That's pretty freaking accurate. This could also be it, but that's right through. And that's lining up. Okay. And that would be that breakdown before the breakout, breakthrough. Yeah, this thing is setting up for something really big. I'm going to be completely honest. That would be the bottom of the trend too, logically. 41.15. That would have been a freaking epic entry. 77, 78 doesn't seem unreasonable either. That's a lot of, yeah, but we've already seen that. So historically, it's already seen that before. So yeah, but I still think here seems a lot, but this is that gravitational zone. So that's what's going to really sell it. So if it bounces, I'm just going to let you know if it does bounce at 103.76 or even somewhere in this blue zone here, it's going to go back up because, okay, it can wick. I'm going to let you know, but you want to check your 4 weeks and your 2 weeks to make, before you make any type of like, you know, for sure, like decisions for buying. Because what I'm seeing here, and just terms of like its history, earnings is also coming up. If earnings is green, I'm just... That's the only part. This is the only information it has. Except for this little bit. This also... And that does look like it's a repeated pattern too. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just say, dude, just find your entry somewhere around 89.77 to about, you know, maybe that 101, 104. Try to look for entry in this area, because if this, it looks like it's gonna do the same repeated pattern here. It does look like it's on this pattern, and it will probably be this round, and then the next one it's going to be different. So I think it has one more setup like this before we're going to see it switch up, because what I'm witnessing here and just the information that I'm picking up from this particular stock, like, this is going to bounce. It's going to come back into this gravitational zone. It will probably wick in here just to eat its like share of its money, right? Liquidity grab, whatever. It's gonna eat it, and then it's gonna freaking swing. We're gonna see it swing again. This thing is nice. It's a very nice stock. Thank you for showing this to me. Very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so just look for these zones. I will you're in the Discord. I'll post it so you can come and check on it. So overall, like, there's that. We have a couple zones that we need to think about in terms of these like breakouts and stuff. But the zone that I would look for is somewhere like here and in this range, like right at the below, like that low area. This is a good pickup. This is a good price. So like 102.43 to 190.44. Sorry, I'm kind of like distracted because there's like, this is a cool stock. Like, there's a lot of information and it follows very nicely. Like, it's habituals. It's like ACHR. So ACHR has a habitual, and this one does have its own habitual habits. So it does a lot of U-shaping. So next time you see this massive cup and handle formation and it validates, and you'll know, because this is where like it doesn't go below that 50%, which that's about 50% right there. So it went to exactly 50%, closed, and then it continued and broke out. And it paid. Wow. That's all I gotta say. Sorry, that's interesting. Used to trade Chinese IPOs. Here, I'm gonna go post this for him. Eric, I'm gonna put this in the Discord so he can look at it later. That particular stock, like, there's just, it follows well. So it's like my ADHD is like going through all the little things, the similarities that I see in terms of the pattern. So that's just my thing. Like, this looks nice. I'm telling you though, it will reject. So we're gonna see a rejection around 190.34, if not sooner. And then when that does happen, we're gonna have that pullback historically. And I would look for entries as soon as we cross that 10 or 111.64. That's where I would put my alert. I actually will do that for this. So then we can come check on it later. Add alert. Once it crosses that, this is where that's your decision making. Where do you want to try to get entry? And you can also ask me to analyze it if I'm on, or like whatever, like just DM me and I will try to look at it for you. And then we can find that entry point. I'll give you a good, and we'll zoom in. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit though. Let's go to like the 2 hour. Let's see how this lines up with everything here. Yeah, see, we're about entering that zone anyway. We're in the lower area here. $108. We're starting to see that rejection though, honestly. Yeah, that's that rejection starting in. And we already crossed that 177.56. It looks good here, like in terms of like the EMAs, but those EMAs, don't let them fool you, because those ones are not what tells you how the market's doing in terms of its direction. It's the weeklies, and yeah, this is still doing some death cross shit. However, we're starting to see some movement, which is good. That is AV. This weekly's showing that it's already kind of done that. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And that was that gravitational zone. But we had something like that happen last time too. Where we we'll see. Just keep an eye on it. If it rejects around 190.34 or in this zone, like we start seeing pullback and decline, just know that we're coming back down to touch this range at a lower low. But which would make sense, because if you look here, we did it once, we tried to go back up, and then we got pulled back down. Okay. We didn't quite enter that gravitational zone too well. But it's probably going to do its bounce thing like this. And then we're going to have it pull in, and then we're going to get shot back out once we cross back above the gravitational zone. Just keep your eye on it. That's all I got to say. I'm going to go post this for you inside of the Discord, or I can directly DM it to you, whichever works. Let me know. Can I post an invite? Yeah. Let's do that. That's a better idea, Eric. Oh, let's get him in here. Do. All right, I made where he can click on it and join and become a member immediately. Yeah, I got you. Let me go into my DMs right now. It's a lot of information, so just be... Oops, that's not it. Sorry, wrong thing. I gotta go copy it again. I'm gonna zoom out back to the monthly, just so you have a better view of everything, so you know kind of like the game plan here, what you're seeing, so we can come back and relook it and reevaluate when time gets closer and see how true to game plan it's stuck, because not always, like, you know what I mean, like money can change anything at any point in time, so just be mindful of that. But I love it. I love to see when stuff pans out in terms of my chart. I love it. Very welcome. Very welcome. Okay. All right. Back to business. All right. That was a deep dive. What's next? Let's look at another ticker. Let's go look at Halliburton real quick. And then, oh no, Sophie. Eric said Sophie. Let's go look at Sophie. All right, Eric G. Oh, hold on. I need to shut my door a little bit more. Nasdaq. One second. Un momento, por favor. Cheese and rice. Too many lines. Holy schnit. What the hell? Said April 2026 next bull run, bro. And I had a little bit of that run, and then it fucking fell. And you fell. It did have a little bit of some going on though. Oh, that was 13th though. Wait, the 26th. Hold on, where is that? Wait, hold on. Did I say April? April 26th. March, April. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? And this is why they pay me the big bucks. They don't actually pay me, but you know, it did have a little bit of a run, dude. I wasn't wrong. And that's a, okay. So that's, English cat. Come on. Tweezer top. I'm just letting you know. So this is coming down. Eric, it has a pullback because that is a tweezer top, and tweezer tops usually pull it down a lot farther. Again, there's this big red bar here is where I'm seeing this thing just repeating. If it does not bounce there, we're going to have something like historically like that. Well, actually, look, if you look here, we'll probably wick into it. Right, we'll come in and we'll break down. I don't think it's going to be that dramatic. Okay, I don't think Sophie's having a period moment, but I do think it'll probably like do it's a little bullshit here. I don't think this far in because again, it's fucking Sophie. Okay, but let's just look. But that is a tweezer top though. That's where that shit's kind of fucking frustrating. Yeah, no, cause look. I already kind of had it charted out too. Like this fucker's coming down to about 11:15, but I don't think it's gonna go that far. I don't think so. I think maybe about 12.98. I think that's more reasonable. If we do a 12.98, right? I will adjust my little things here. Yeah, about 35.02. Yeah, so this is gonna continue pulling back. And it is looking weak. It's looking weak. But let me go look at Sophie over here real quick. Because, yeah, you know, it's fucking following shit. And, like, there's a buy here at 12.66. Fuck, I will buy there. I'd buy 100 if I could right there, bro. And that's on the weekly. Hold on, let's go out. I want to look at the monthly. How's monthly looking? Look at that fucking shit, dude. It's falling wedge. This is yeah, that's falling though. Damn, dude. And it did break below the fucking triangle too. And it's stair stepping. 50 MA. And that's a sharp fucking decline too. 1286, which is about where we were saying anyway. Hold on, let's go back over here. 1286. Where's 1286 on this one? Right there. Right above my 1296. That's fucking perfect. 1298, my bad. So yeah, I'd say that. With the off chance of this lower end of this shit. Very, very off chance. If I'm being completely honest. Fuck all this shit. Get the fuck out of here. Garbage. Move. Be gone, thought. Alright. Yeah, worst case, like that's like worst, like 11.51, but that's like best case for buying in at a really cheap price. Otherwise, I see a lower, like instead of it being so dramatic, maybe somewhere in here on the worst case of being like that 12.49 to 11.51. Just in terms of the order blocks too that I saw over here. Damn, dude. But that's on the monthly. That shit is like, let's go to the 2-day. What is it saying now? Where's price at? They're selling. Yeah, so some people are like, I want out. Hold on. Let's go to the weeklies. What you looking at? Yeah, there's the buy. Hey, what'd I say? Look at that shit right there. Look what I fucking say. 12.86. I think, and it's almost perfect to the middle of this where I think price would be. So 12.66. You could probably get 12.66. Not gonna lie. And then after that, this fucker's going to run again. We're going to get back into this 1507 range. 1647. And then up here. This is where that next thing would run. And then we'd see 28.52 again. And then if this, hold on. Logically speaking, what I'm going to do, let me show you where, there it is. So logically speaking, let's say it does come over here, right? Picks up its money. And we have this like little run. I'm going to line it up with that price. And breakout would be, you know, obviously somewhere up here. In terms of what has been going on historically. About 42.21. The next massive high is what I'm saying. And then let's also do this one too. In terms of its climb and shit. If it is repeating, and even if I go to the lower section here, about 47.88, which seems reasonable. In terms of Sophie. And that's if pattern continues to follow points of value. That's about what I'm seeing here. But let me go ahead and mark this because, well, hold on. Let's come back in here. So I'm saying about 1286. Come look over here. And it lines up with where I'm seeing 1206. Actually, I see why. Yeah, that could be. I might slide that down. Let's just. And then 1208 sounds good. Let's step there. Because it's on the upper hand of that. I think I have one. Hold on, let me go over to how. I think I have another one that I broke it down to. But let me look. Let me double check. Because I do think I did a huge Yeah, this is the one. Okay, let's go. Monthly. Okay. Let's see how accurate this one is. 1162. Where's 1162? Why would I say that? What is 1162? 69. Yeah, 1151. That seems pretty accurate there. And we are consolidating a little bit. 1375, 1354, yeah. Yeah. 1375, 1379. Nope, 75. That's where I have it marked. Yeah, okay. And 1327 is where order blocks are saying yes. Yep. Okay. So overall, over the last three charts, like this could pull back pretty hard. However, if you look here, like on my monthly, the monthly is where I like would be more, 1375. That's where I would project a possible entry and a possible bounce. If it does not bounce, we will break down something like similar to this. Probably into that 1176, and it is actually showing that over here 1176 is still a little bit above that, so about 1208 and hold on, 1286 to a 1209. I would say that would be your range to play. Oh, that's not the right one. Yeah, and you know what? Let's see. Earnings was green too. Yeah, so I expect to bounce somewhere in this range. 1298. Yeah, and I don't know why people think they're gonna get that. That's if this Sophie has bad news, and that's like if we repeat 2021, and I don't think we're going to. So whatever, people can do whatever they want, but. I mean, they can, but I don't, it's like less likely. I think that's if, like maybe Red October, that's where I would buy. Like, you know what I mean? If Red October affects Sophie and it goes down that far, like I would buy that shit. Like I would gobble that shit up. There is a possibility of this doing it again, but I don't think so. I think maybe like at the top of it, like right there. But that is like during, well, that was last year of April, and we're here we ran this April. So that was inverted. So it was inversion of this, right? We still went up, right? We repeated this historically. We went down that April, but we went up that April, or like this April. So like it could U down, okay? And that U down, this is where we would pick up, is right here. And then it'll run. Hold on, let me look. Let's take that. Let's say that this is breakout right here, or like this is where price is gonna bounce. Yeah, and that's about the top of the triangle, 35, which is a lot lower than the prediction, like these two predictions, but it's still close enough that there's no reason for me to believe that it can't run higher. You know what I mean? I will mark this zone. It is a pretty big zone, but I will mark it. And I will also mark the lower end of this too, just so we have a healthy boundary here. Let's do blue. Blue. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, Eric. I'm gonna mark some prices though, so give me a second, because we went through like 3 different charts that I've done for Sophie. So I'm gonna say here for sure. I'm gonna say that we're gonna have rejection about there, and I'm gonna say like this next like rejection, like where we're gonna have issues kind of getting above probably 2132, only because there is like this thing. And then also here is where I would project maybe like that next consolidation. So it's gonna do that shit, but here. And then we're gonna have like possible breakout, which about here. Okay, that's a lot of different prices, but it's just kind of like your roadmap to kind of like seeing potentialities. I'm gonna send this to the group chat too. This is like predicting out for a while. Like we have some time for this to play out. But pullback, yes, happening. It's looking like it's going to start coming down, especially since we are in between the, well, actually not even more. We broke below that 200 EMA, which tells me that this fucker's coming down. And price is following it down, which means if we get that next death cross, which goes over that 200 EMA, this fucker's going to come down. Okay. So I'd pick up somewhere in here for sure. Let's look over here too. Okay. There's that one, but let's look at this one too. And then let's zoom in. Let's go. Hold on. I just want to see what the other time frames are looking. If they're looking bearish too. Yeah, there's that death cross right here that happened April 26th, which is funny because we had a slight run, right? We had that slight run. Yeah, we had that run here. And then it broke down. And then this is just continuation of the downside. And that is a falling wedge. If you look here, I'll show you. Hold on. It's a falling wedge, which is good, right? Because this means that reversal is going to happen pretty quickly. It does say 1482 here, but I think we're pretty set with where this is going. On the short term, like the 2 hour always shows like better prices and shit, but you got to look at the long term. Like if we go to the daily, this is where we would really start to see like discrepancies in price. Yeah, because even on the daily, people are like, I think we're going to get $7 or $8. Fucking, yeah, you wish. You wish in a day would fall that far. I'm just kidding. But weekly is where it's at. Yep. And there's where weekly just kind of validates. We're looking here at 1263. 1263. Where are you? And didn't I say that? Or 67 or something like that? 68.5 or some shit. 63, which is about here. Yep. Okay. Yeah, overall, like you see that, right? So this is, yeah, 1289. And this was saying what? Yeah, 63. I said 63, but 66. Yep. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. So we're going to have this breakdown. This is where I would start looking for buying more or accumulation. And then this is where I would see it bouncing. I don't see it hitting that $8 range like everyone seems to want to buy in. I do see it maybe happening on its next, run when it does break down again. But right now, no, we're still pretty bullish. I can also go over the next time frames though. Like, let's go look at the 8 weeks. What is 8 weeks saying? Because that's some good information too. Oof. Well, yeah, 8 weeks. That's that 200 EMA. And that one is the blue. The blue is what? I think the blue is 50. Yeah, no, we're below both too. I'm telling you, yeah, this is going to continue. I do feel like we're going to bounce though here. That's where I'm seeing this bounce happening. Partaking. Somewhere in here, I would look for that entry. It is looking pretty bearish though, I'm not going to lie. But don't get too discouraged because I do believe that we're going to see that. Yeah, this is just a reset for this next bounce for sure. It could wick 990. That's like worst case though. However, it does do that. Man, what the hell? And that one too. But we're coming from up here. Hold on, I'm gonna do something. I just want to see if it's aligning with what. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So 1375. I do feel like we would have that wick to that 1289. So this pans out. Like, we're right at the end of this pullback. Right at the end. We will probably see a wick down into the zone because we are weak and we're bearish looking. But as soon as we do that, I think we're going to have that bounce. For sure. For sure. 18 days? What are we looking like? Yeah, pretty bearish. Bearish. 4 days? Yep, there's that. Okay, so we're starting to see a little bit of the... That's a death cross here. Hitting that 200 EMA. And what is this one? That one's the... Oh, that's the 50 and the 18? Yeah, because that's 200. That's a bright one. And then we have 15. Or 9 EMA. Yeah, this is just continuation of the downside, and then we're going to have that freaking change. I wonder when it's going to happen, though. Like, when are we predicting the next... I'm looking to see where the change is coming for trend. Maybe 2 hours. Let's look. No, it's not even there. Did I look at bi-daily already? Ooh, that's ugly. But this is where that could change, though, if it bounces off of that one. Yeah, this is pretty bearish, I'm not going to lie. I'm just letting you know it's looking bearish. This is a big pullback. But again, look for that entry. I do think we're going to bounce here. Maybe a slight wick, a little bit lower, but not too much, like 1068 at worst. 1068. I will mark that just in case. Just because I'm covering my ass. All right, Eric, does that make sense? Sorry. I'm looking. GME. Okay, I'll look at GME. I'm not checking the chat, guys. You're welcome. I'm going to go post this. Well, I did post it. What the hell? Whatever. All right, let me go look at Jimmy. Jimmy. All right. Sorry, I get so infatuated with stocks because I like to read them. You guys know that. Did you guys see MRNY? Let me go look at Jimmy. Or not. I should have been an MA, not MY. NY. All right. GME, I did do a thing not too long ago, actually. So hold on. Oh my gosh, TP, I found your song. What the hell? Oh yeah, remember that? Freaking the Titanic and shit. Oh my god, I have mental illnesses. I swear. That's a golden cross. Oh, that golden cross didn't last very long, did it? Holy shit. There's pickups here at about 20. This was where I was hoping breakout would be, and it's looking like it ain't gonna fucking happen. Look at where I was projecting. Like, I went overall, because this was looking like a bull flag. Okay, I'm just letting you know. It was like 6,350, but we all know that ain't ever happening. Okay, but yeah, so about $20 pullback. But hold on, I have another chart somewhere. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is a lot of noise though. That's just too much. There's resistance here, which has held true, dude. Let's go ahead and just completely redo one right now. All right, you guys ready for this? Goodbye. Let's turn off all that too, so I can focus. Okay, so in terms of what I'm seeing with GME, which you guys already know, my thoughts and my feelings on AMC and GME, which is why I've divorced them and why I will never go back to this toxic ex. And I don't recommend anyone go to this toxic ex at all, because they will cheat and lie to you all the time. Okay? So if you know this person, please don't date this person. So if that pickup at $20 happens and it's healthy and it's good and it's solid, we could see 49. I don't see why that can't happen. Honestly, 49 seems pretty reasonable. Hold on. I'm going to do some other little tits for tats here, so bear with me. I'm going to change this to a 1 and also a dashed line. Yeah, and we're at the bottom of it, which makes sense. This consolidating wedge. If this is what I think it is. Yucky. 2004, which is why people are picking up there, which again validates what I think. That's a Head and Shoulders, just so you know. It doesn't look like one, but it is. It's a Head and Shoulders. Disgusting. Alright, I'm gonna change music. Hold on. We're gonna go somewhere else. I can't go listen to my CD because unfortunately that will get us in trouble, and my YouTube will bite me, because all of that is copywritten music. Let's go back to AI's classical music. I need a break. All right, so here's what I'm seeing with GME. Okay, and this is in terms of, you know, just overall the order blocks and what I was seeing. $20 pullback, absolutely. Head and Shoulders is confirming itself. It is going to break below the trend that's already set here. GME always does this. Okay, again, this is a toxic boyfriend. I would not date this person. Don't marry it, but you can play with it, right? If you want a good time, I would definitely, you know, in and out. Maybe one night stands a few times here and there. But I would not call this person back on a daily. I'm just saying, yes, there's going to be a pullback, a huge buy block about $20. This is showing about 2002. Once that buy block is purchased, I do believe we will bounce off of the 200 EMA. When that does happen, we could see around 35, 34 to a potential, $49. But again, this is a very toxic ex. I would not hold my breath on that. Okay. He has a horrible time of keeping his promises and his words. So I would not, again, don't hold your breath. But 34, pretty reasonable. That has happened over its course of playing hanky panky. So if you're going to turn yourself around and do this, I would definitely be keeping your zones pretty constricted. Again, don't even expect that $49. 50% of that would be somewhere around that $41.73 at best. Okay, that's on his best performing day. On the off chance that he does have something like this whole shenanigans going on back from like June of 2024, which is still pretty improbable because you know how the market is, and right now market makers love toying with this guy, okay? And he likes it too. He's allowing it. That's why he's dealing with it, okay? But I would probably stick to more closer to that 30, whatever I said earlier, 34, okay? That seems reasonable, especially since we are in this consolidating wedge. I do not see an uptrend at all in sight at this current time. This is based off the 2-week chart. We'll go to the weekly just so we can have a more chaotic view of this hanky-panky. He will probably turn himself around. I'm just going to let you know. He'll probably come down here after he gets his fill of all the good, okay? Then we're going to see that 34, and then swiftly after a rejection and continue to consolidate in this zone. Now, on the off chance that we do see that $49, which would be great for anybody that is invested in GME. Okay, here is what could potentially happen if we do see that lovely breakout. Less likely. But if we do, on the off chance that he actually is a good boy for once in his fucking life. Let's just see. 5607, which would put us, it actually lines up with some things, but that would put us right about there. But we all know that the market makers would probably lose their fucking pants if we did see about a 5581. I would not hold my breath, but on the off chance that he does play and perform properly and appropriately, this could be a completely new ball game that's about to come in for GME. Now, is it looking bullish? No, not at all. RSI is looking weak as shit. Volume's probably up there. Okay, it's probably got unreasonable volume, but shit for brains. Now, this is pinging. This is popping off. Last time we saw something a little bit like this, okay, at these levels, which, give me a second. Let me look here, okay, somewhere around here. This was back in March of 2022. We had this little skyrocket, okay, beautiful. We had it ping like this before. If this does continue, we could see this beautiful climb. I'm going to go ahead and take it, and let's go to that spot that we're at right now where we're pinging, which actually validates my 49 thesis here at 50.97, which is great. That's wonderful, and I really hope that you guys get it. But again, he can be a damn hoe. He lies. And the market makers don't make it any easier. They love to short this shit. But just be mindful of this. On the off chance, though, 34, I do feel like that would be a good play. I would take my profit there. That's where I would take my profit. Don't get greedy. This fucker will eat your ass. I know. Respectfully. Yeah, where's Fishy? Oh, I'm reading comments now. I'm catching up. Do you want more of my commentary? Do you guys remember the sinking ship, though? The Titanic. He's very welcome. You guys want to go look at AMC? Let's go and judge her. I want to judge her too because I'm divorced, so I can do that. I judge my ex-wife all the time. All right, Amy, show me your nuts. You. I'm gonna hide all my stuff. I think that's enough said. Fucking hoe. She broke. This is what happens when you get divorced from your millionaire husband. Your billionaire husband. And instead of investing your money, you take all your girlfriends on many vacations and shit like that. This is what a hoe does, okay? She takes her husband, half of what he has, and then she goes and fucking spreads her legs, catches STDs, and her value declines drastically. That's why she's still at $1.38. And you know where she used to be back in her prime, you know, she was banking. And then the divorce happened. Okay, somebody invested back in her because she was like, you know, he thought she was a good girl, right? He put some investment back in her. She was pretty close to her old prime, and it just went all downhill because this guy that invested in her, she was cheating on him with 30 different other men, right? And this is what fucking happens when you become a damn hoe, is you fucking become worthless. I'm just saying. There's no hope here. This is the hopeless land right now. Now, can she make a comeback? Sure, if she gets enough plastic surgery, I'm sure somebody would pick her up. Okay? That's on her good days, guys. Jesus criminy. Yeah, and she couldn't even hold fucking position. She's on her ticket straight to fucking negative land. I'm just... Look, if she even gets close to 0, guys, it's over. That's my ex-wife for you. Don't ever... She... Uncle, I fucking swear. I love how GME got a sex change. Let's go look at GME. Did GME really get a sex change? Let's take a closer examination. Yeah, from a peen to a ween. I mean, from a ween to a... Yeah, you got it. You know, on the off chance that GME does get that sex change officialized, I would see 909. That's if that sex change does get finalized. I don't think he's quite cut it off yet. I think the paperwork's been filled out. I just don't think he signed it to, or actually showed up to the, you know, the official appointment. What you talking? 1%. 1%. 1%. Wow. Wow, that's such an improvement for Amy. A 1% from, you know, yeah, dude, 1%. Damn, you know, just 1%. You know, she freaking. I'm gonna. There's a reason I'm fucking divorced from this hoe. Okay. I'm gonna show you exactly why I'm divorced from this hoe. She fell from grace multiple times. This is rock bottom for her. This respectfully, Amy has just 1%. 1% is not anything to me, and I think we all know this. She's been in for this for a long time. TP's over here defending Amy. Are you the one investing in her? No, just had a bar last week. I'm gonna wait forever. Yeah. It's gonna eat your money if it ever hits 0. Never left. I'm glad I left when I did. You guys remember that? I divorced her at 5. I said, no, I'm fucking leaving her. Oh, shit, TP. Damn, dude. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you, okay? They want this fucker to die. They've been waiting for her to crash and burn. And I'm gonna just be real. She don't have a lot in her left. You know, time is really caught up with her. On the off chance, though, just for TP, on the off chance that Amy decides that she's gonna get her, you know, her life straightened, which can happen. You know, I've seen it before in people where they've suddenly had an epiphany about life and have done great things to become better. Anyways, on this off chance that this is, you know, her last stand from this falling wedge and her crooked behavior, she can make it back to $3.30. That's on a good day. If on the off chance she can make it back above $3.30 and hold, okay, we could potentially see at $6.89. And on the off chance that that happens, maybe she runs, you know, maybe we see $11 again. That would be amazing, you guys, you know. On the off chance that that does happen, we could see it 15.59, which would be an accumulation from the hell that she's been through. Okay. Again, this is, as you can see, she's going to have to climb some ladders to get there. There's quite a few roadblocks on her way up to this reclaim of power. And on the off chance that she does do this, right? Logically speaking, on the off chance that she can come back up here and fill the gap. On the off chance that she can come back and fill the gap. Okay, again, I'm going to say that very loose. It's a very loose term. If she can come fill this gap. There's too much shit here. Even there's a gap here. It did fill. It definitely filled that gap. But on the off chance, there's a lot of rejection here, even at $23. That's going to be a fucking ride from hell. On the off chance, though, that she can do all this, let's go ahead and just... this is on the off chance, you know, that she decides to get her act together, life starts getting better, you know, she's no longer doing the hanky-panky and she's going to turn herself around. Yeah, that would validate the 4450. I'm just telling you. She could see 4450 again in her life if she turns herself around on that off chance. Yeah, because you bought in at a high, didn't you? Movies could make a comeback, you know. All they gotta do is shut down the internet for a month. Movies can make a huge comeback, you know. Not that I think they would do that, but you know. Yes, XRP. On the XRP, we've already looked at AMC. Let's go look at XRP. Let's go to Coinbase, because that's what a lot of people fucking use these days. Ooh, ugly. Ugly breakdown. But you know what? You know what? I like this. You know why I like this? This tells me that we're about to see some fucking shit. Okay, so, cuz, listen. Right? Here, I'm gonna get rid of that shit. Let's go here. Let's go to this previous breakdown. Okay? I'm going to go from up here to where price actually was. Where we're at is exactly where we should be in terms of this prior breakdown. Now, is this a bigger breakdown than last time? Yes, but the last time we broke down like this, we ran like this. So hold on. We ran like that. So even here, we're going to see, again, $3. But this is the start, right? Now, let's do this, because we know that we had a breakdown like this last time. From this zone. $4.37. We're going up. Regardless, this is healthy. This is good. Very, very good. Very good. This had to happen. This whole breakdown and play out. Are there zones that are going to be hard to break over compared to others? Yes, of course. However, from what I'm seeing here, we're about to bounce. We're going to bounce off of this zone here, that 129.54. This is where I would just start fucking piling in some money. Money. 128.82. Shove your coins in to its ass. Because this fucker is going to go back to $3. $3 motherfucking dollar, motherfuck you. Now, if this continues to play hanky-panky, we all know how this turns around, okay? If it continues to play hanky-panky, as for the time being, because again, we could continue to play this hanky-panky. let's see. Let's logically look at this. Okay. I'm going to take this. Let's say we have a breakout here. So breakout would be somewhere in the zone. It lines up with where I'm projecting, $3.80. That's from just staying in this formation, this sideways trend. Okay. Now, next possibility. From breakout, $4.96, about $5. So take $1 and flip it to $5. I would not fucking complain. I don't know about y'all, but I will take $5 any day of the week. I'm gonna just put it at 5 because we already know that XRP has a habit of running, and it hasn't had a run in a while. Obviously, this is a longer time that is taken for this breakdown and pullback, but there's a reason. And it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And when things get tighter and tighter and tighter, they explode. Okay? Last time we had some pullback, not quite like this, but we did. We had an accumulation. And we started to see this thing shift. And I truly believe once we bounce off of this zone, because we're set up for this next run, this based off the weekly, okay? Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, so this is a huge like divot to the downside. But if you look, it's really, it makes sense. We're still only up 50%. We just validated price. And because we validated price, we're about to see that huge change and shift to the upside. And everyone's going to get excited about XRP. XRP is going to be in everyone's fucking mouth again after it runs. So I would be prepared. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Yep, exactly, Eric. Because what is happening right now is we're... I don't know if you've heard, but Trump just made a deal with China for their crypto. China. Dumbass ACHR. On eBay. China. Oh. China. You know what else is Chinese? Actually, I don't know what the coin is. Anyway, is there any other tickers you guys want me to go over today? I'm kind of like burned. My steam engine is slowing down here. Oh, did you? Let's English. Let's go look at Wendy's pain gonna go away. Nope, this isn't the one I did the chart for it. Let's go look at Wendy's. Hello, Wendy. Is this the chart? This is the chart. Damn. Yes. What I say? Yes. It's pulling back. Womp womp. Did it go as far though? Nah, but I think, okay, I still think this thing has, that was a good jump though for wherever, like, whoever picked up right here. However, I do think we're about to bounce again. I think we're going to come lower. About 367 is where I'm seeing in terms of everything. History loves to repeat itself. I'm going to set an alert when it breaks below 467. Because I'm telling you, this thing has some stuff to repay. Historical value dip. That's the biggest dip that it's had, and that's what it's looking like over here. I'm just saying. Not financial advice if you're in the Wendy's. All right. What's the other one? There was another one that I was looking at too. XDTE. Let's go look here. XDTE is looking fucking bullish as shit, dude. Gosh darn, bruh. Meow. Look at that fucking dip, bruh. That's where I'd enter. There's a pickup here. People are hoping for this because there's a gap here that needs to be filled. If we know anything about gaps, if the gap's big enough, anyways, I'm gonna put something there. Yeah, I'm expecting this to have a pullback. I have 2 zones that I kind of marked for this too. I put about a 35.43 and I also put a 37.14. This is what we want this to pull back just enough. I think the tops here at 34.16 is where you would pick up because I think this thing has a lot of life left in it. Because it's a covered call strategy, and if we know anything about covered calls, they're freaking amazing. And they make you money. Ask Eric. Eric will tell you. Ask him. Eric, tell them how much money you've made off of CCs and CSPs. There's money to be made. And that fucker pays dividends. All right? What do you think of PayPal? Oh, let's go look. I haven't looked at PayPal in a hot minute. PayPal. Hello, PayPal. Holy mother of Jeebus. It broke below my 3 zones. And it's trending down. Ooh. Ugly. PayPal, what'd you do? Oh my god. You know what, though? I would pick up probably. Because this is probably setting up for its next trend. And even at this price, though, it's a fucking steal, dude. Do you see how high this thing can go? Hold on. Let's just... In terms of this climb, last time we were at these prices. Logically speaking. 373. Jesus criminy, dude. Earnings. Ooh, and it pays dividend now. 14 cents. Now you listen here, motherfuck you. Earnings. Earnings were green too. What is this? PayPal sells 2.2 billion of senior notes across 2028. Sold 2.0 billion aggregates principals, 650 million, 4.50% due 2028, and 850 million, 4.950% due 2031. Interest payable semi-annually English. June 1st and December 1st, starting December 1st of 2026. Maturities on June 1st of 2028 or 2031 and 2036. Notes are unsecured senior obligations ranked equally with PayPal and other unsecured debts, and they are structurally subordinates to subsidiaries' liabilities. Indentures include customary convenient redemption provisions with make-whole premium. In change of control, repurchase at 101% of the ratings fall below investment grade. Huh. Wow. But they paid dividends. They paid dividends. Eric, they paid dividends. It is worldwide. That is true. And at its price right now, through its historical, if you look, guys, like historically, let's go back to the month chart. Hold on. Ricka. Okay. We are almost at IPO start. And what does that mean? Buy. B-U-Y. Why? Because PayPal will always be here. It's not going to ever go away. It's business. Okay. I use it for business. And if you can take $44, okay, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. But if I bought it at $44, which it still has some more pullback coming in, okay? If I bought at $44 and it went to $290, that is a lot of moonty flipping, all right? What is 44? Or no, what is $290 divided by 43? Wait, no. What is that percentage? Hold on, I can actually find out right now. English is hard. It's my second language. My first is retarded. I'm just kidding. I need Jesus. Anyways, it's a 500% increase. I'm sorry, but I would like to make my profit 500% on anything that I own. I would not be upset with making 500% off of an investment. And PayPal already has proven its strength in terms of how it can climb. I would not be stupid right now. I would find entry in PayPal. A lot of people are looking at entry at $33.19, which is like the low, like where it's fallen before. And where it's at right now, it could definitely reach that. However, I do feel like we're about to see a bounce. So you could probably get $38.86 at best, but I don't think I think that's over. I think you could probably get $42.04. That's like your greatest possible entry. We can actually go find out right now. Let's go to the by hourly. Where are people trying to buy in here? Oh, there's a couple sells right now going on. It is looking kind of bearish. And then we had a death cross here. PayPal is falling down. 30. Ooh, actually, risen. Maybe 40.61. And at best, excuse me, 38.50. I think you guys could get lucky there. I'm gonna be completely real. But let me go out to daily reason about. Okay, yeah. This may be a bit too low. 41.71. And there's a huge order block here, which tells me there's a lot of money that is betting on this zone. And good money. Good hard money. Anybody else lower? Yeah, look. The dum-dums. Dum-dum-gum-gum. This is true value right here. 40.61 with an off chance of a possible 38.50. That's if this fucker decides to, suck back down in before its next huge run. And with what it's looking like, well, it's done it before. We had a quick spurt. We reached hot, and now we're cooling off. We cooled off. I think we can cool off a little bit farther. Oh, hey, this just posted. Let's look at it. PayPal board elections, strategic recognition and cost-saving plans approved. Shareholders proposals failed. The meets features board elections approved of execution, compensation, and a new equity plan. While two shareholders proposals were rejected, the CEO detailed a strategic reorganization, cost-saving, innovative, and technology modernization to drive growth and efficiency. Wow. Not only that, is it pays dividend, and we had a green earnings, which means this pullback is gonna come down. We're gonna get some liquidation, and then it's gonna bounce. Anytime we've been green, let's see. Well, this one not so much, but it did climb. It went to about a $78, but then it continued down to the downside. But I think it was in for it because it had a death cross here. I think this was just like a last little bit of hope before this fall. It was already in the downtrend anyway, but we're about to see it switch up. I would look for entries now. According to this, we are in this prime area. Again, I still think you can get down here like this, maybe $40, 40.61. Yeah, because look, it's falling right now, and it closes in about 10 days. I feel like it's gonna come in here, and then in like the last 3 days, it's gonna suck it all back up because everyone's gonna buy right here. I would get prepared and buy if you're gonna buy PayPal. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, because this is about to do a switch up. We're about to see this switch up coming after this 10-day close for the month. On the off chance, let's just say that it goes there. Yeah, back to $74. Dude, that's good. That's really good. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. That's 500 for close to it. Hell yeah. Still some cash to kill puts. Make the money. I don't have $4,000, Eric. Or 40,000. 4,000. I don't got that kind of money, okay? Well, I do, but I don't. But I do, but I don't. Okay? Anyway. All jokes aside. Like Sophie. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. And honestly, PayPal is good. Like, a lot of businesses use it. I don't understand why you're not investing in what you use in terms of your business, because that's what's going to, you know, further your finances. But you know what? People do what they got to do. People do what they do. They do what they do. Do. All right. We looked at Wendy's, which is up 3% today. There's another one that I wanted to look at too, because I've been looking at a couple different like businesses, like Tesla for one, but I don't want to look at Tesla right this second. BBWI, which pays dividends. Wait, was this the one that paid dividends? Bath and Body Works. I think this is the one that was paying dividends, but I don't see them right this second. Here, let's go in. I bet you would show me here. Yeah, look, there's a dividend coming up. And the amount they're expecting is 20 cents. 20 pence, all right? And right now it's at $16, all right? And PayPal's at what? 40 for how much dividend did it say? 12, I think. All right? BBW be paying a lot more, all right? And if we get a green earnings, BBWI about to show us some Haktua. Even though last time I had a red earnings, this fucker went, right? Bounced right up. I do feel like we might come back down to close to this $14 range again. Might be a little bit shorter, a short off, like 1560, like, so maybe there, 1561. I would probably buy, if you're gonna play with BBWI, that 1561, that pullback, and then ride it. Not financial advice. I'm gonna go look. Actually, let's look. Does BBWI's no, that's not what I wanted. Damn it. Let's go look at their cash secured puts. All right, PayPal. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm getting distracted over here. All right, BBWI. All right. Let's go look at its cash secured puts prices. CSP. In 3 days, if you wanted to play in 3 days, okay, and this is just 3 days. You can make 10 cents off of a 1551 bet. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying that's $10 you didn't have yesterday. And that's for 3 days of just sitting there and then this thing pulling back. Granted, you might feel. However, 1550, it's not in 3 days? Nah, I don't think so. I'd make $10. Easy $10 right there. With a $1,500 bet. Really. Now let's go look at the 10 days. For a $1,550 bet, you can make $65 for 10-day bet. I'm telling you, Eric, we might be looking over at BBWI. Okay, I'm just saying. I'll be right back. He's like, big bow move. Well, I think Eric's taking a poop. I sold Tesla in 2024. Hold on, let me go look. I haven't looked at Tesla in a hot minute. Tesla. Yep. Yep. Tracking. Tesla be tracking my predictions. Here's the problem, though. It didn't go to my $5,000 like I wanted it. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That was based off of just, you know, overall, it will never get to 5K because they'll always split. But in terms of price and like volume and stuff, it could see that. However, we're consolidating here. We would have a split by the time it reached probably about $500 or $600. I'm just saying. Even now, there's still a high probability that it could split. In 2024, let me look here. That's smart though. When did you buy? How long were you holding it? If you don't mind me asking. Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna come back down. They're gonna split. He always does it. Like he will split it. Well, the market will split. More than likely. Because they're going to want more people in it. So when it does split, it probably would go down to maybe about 40 to 50. Well, it depends. Hold on. When was the last time it split? Do you know? There it is. I found it. Last time it split. There's a split here too. Shee. 5 for 1. 3 for 1. The audacity. It's going to do another 5 for 1. How much you want to bet? Because it's so freaking high. Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to split. They're going to split. 22. Damn, they're going to split, dude. I'm telling you. They're going to have to. They're going to want more people in. I think they're going to do a 5 for 1 again. And once they do that, that's when I would buy. I'd wait for this. I would wait for the split. Just be patient. They will end up doing it because they want more money. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want more money, okay? They're greedy. They gotta. 22, 20. So it took about 3 years for that one. And we're about in for that. Honestly, we're in for it. They're probably not talking about it right now, but I think they're going to talk about a split here. Yeah, we're in for a split, so I'm going to expect it sometime this year, maybe in August. It's been in August both times, so just look. We'll wait for August. We'll just look at August. When August comes around, if there's a split, that's when I would start looking for entry. Not financial advice. I used to own Tesla at 200 and I sold too early. I owned it at like $200 and I got out because I was learning how to play in the market still. It was back when I was still learning, so about 2024. Yeah, I owned it about 200 or something. I shouldn't have got out when I did, but I was still learning how to play in the market, so because it did climb and I could be $100 richer, but not worth it. I've made more money getting out of it. Now on the positive side of all this, I'm just saying, like, Tesla will have a split and then we can look for entry. And when that split does happen, right? Damn, dude, even the split was a fucking. Damn, dude. It might be a 10. If it does a 10 for 1, we could probably have a better chance of entry at a decent price, like maybe 60. I'm going to mark there. On that off chance, though. If we do have something that dramatic, though, I would buy a lot. I'm not financial advice. Oh, yeah, I've played with that one, too. Palin. Let me go. I'm pretty sure I've charted that one before. Let me go look, though. Yep, I have played this one. I'm pretty sure I have a chart for it somewhere. No. Oh, yeah, no, see? I have played it. I played it back over here. Look at this. Oh, years ago, bro. This was back when I was still kind of learning shit. This is where I was looking. So let's zoom out and then into this area because this is where I was playing. Yeah, it was March of 2025, dude. So last year, this is where I played in. I think I bought down here. And I made a really good amount. Oh, they still send me shit too, dude. I can't even. Dude, I should have held this. What? I should have held. Oh well. It's okay. I still played it. I still get like notifications from them and shit. So it's coming back down though. It is. So you know what? I'm gonna find entry again. PLTR. Damn, I haven't played this one in forever. Yeah, if this thing comes back down, I will. I'll probably get it back in. I'll look for entry though down here. I won't play unless it's within my budget. This one does pay well though. I'm not gonna lie, it's worth it. It's worth having some investment here. Yeah, 500% is still fucking Monty. About under 10. Jesus criminy, dude. Here, let me go look. When was the last time was that fucking $10? Bro, 10? You bought it at 10? Hold on. Damn, dude, that was years ago. You've owned this thing for a long time? Because even that's still pretty high. There it is, about in here. So 23? Dang. Dang, look at you. I wish I would have stayed at even this price, dude, when I was playing. Because I was still learning back here. Like 2024 and 2025 were still kind of like, I was learning to trust myself in charting. Yeah, it's for sure. It's going to come down just enough to get people in, and then it's going to do its bounce again. Yeah, dude. Dang. It's 100% worth having PLTR. Because even I played this. Like, I played around with this. I know it's healthy habit. Last time I checked, I kicked myself when it reached 125.14. I was like, damn it, I sold too soon. Because I think actually it's pretty close. Because I remember kicking myself. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to look for entry for this. I'm going to let it come back down because I do feel like it's in for another pullback. So I'll be patient. Even if it takes 2 years, I'll wait. I don't care how long I wait. Munty is Munty. Dang, dude. It's a good one. I absolutely like that one. PLTR is a good one. I've played this one before. I actually forgot about it, believe it or not. I'm gonna ping this one just so I come back for this one. Definitely worth the investment. Let's see, there's a few others that I haven't checked on in a while. Let's go over some of my older charts that I haven't done in a hot minute. Let's look at meta. Pretty sure I've done meta before charting it. I'm gonna have to go back though. I don't see anything here though. Pretty sure I have done meta before though. Yeah, not on this one though. Let's see, what is my oldest page that I have? It's this one. Let's see if meta's on here. Pretty sure I've done meta charts. Yeah, it looks like I have a long time ago. About 583 is what I was projecting. Yep. Because there's some of my old school ways of trying to chart things when I was still learning. was using lines because I was learning like 50% of the prior bar and stuff like that. Yeah, hold on. I guarantee if I zoom in, it'll tell, like, we'll look and see how far it go. I was playing around with this shit. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Yep, because I was still learning. Because I was looking for certain, like, Bollinger Band behavior and stuff like that. Yep. This was before I knew how to actually, like, use this particular app. Yeah, back in 2024, dude. Oh my goodness. And then I went, wow. Crazy how my charting's so different now. Because this was how I was keeping track of information and whatnot. And I think it was before all this other stuff played out. Again, I was still learning. Life gets ahead of us, doesn't it? Crazy. Yeah. Yes, I'm in crypto as well. I love my cryptos. But I'm very selective about the cryptos. Very, very selective. Because some of them are garbage. 514. I think I was measuring, honestly, like certain behavior of the 50 EMAs from here to here before it started like expanding, and then we saw the rubber banding. That's crazy. So much has happened and transpired during that, dude. I could have gotten a damn good entry over here too. However, Meta is kind of back in this zone again, so. Anyways, yeah, Meta has a habit overall. That was just another one that I used to chart. Like, it was probably one of my first, not first, but like one of my first ones to kind of like play with. Let's see, let's go look at, let's see, oh, that's oil. Hold on. I did do Netflix once. MSTR. Oh, I used to do Shy. Hold on. I was invested in Shy for a long time, which is a treasury. Yep. There's a chart right here that I did back in the day. Damn, dude. Look how much it went up. Shy is a good treasury, by the way. I should have stayed in it because it's straight up. Here, let's go to the monthly. When in doubt, zoom out, they say. Holy mac. You know what, dude? Even at this price, I would probably invest because look at this. It's nothing but up. Treasuries, though, they... But you want to hold them for a long tier. Like, you want to hold them for 3 years. Yeah, no, ever. You learn new ways. Sometimes you pick up new habits as well. And as long as you keep studying the market and how it moves and stuff like that, it's success. Nothing but success over here. Especially when you care about being successful. I might get back in Shy. At $80. I'm gonna have to wait till I have a little bit more money. If it does ever have a pullback, I probably will look for entry, but I don't think Shy will. I think Shy is gonna be a forever climbing monster because it is a treasury. Damn, dude. I'm gonna save it though, so I remind myself to come back to a bond. I do need another bond. Bonds are good. They're good financially. Oh, I didn't look at Halliburton like I wanted. Let's go look at Hal. Halliburton's still climbing. I still think there is a rejection coming in though. We are about at its end of its climb here. I sold earlier. I do think the pullback's still coming in though, because we are overbought. Let's go to the monthly. I just want to see what monthly is looking. Overbought. Hella overbought, dude. However, let's see. What is its max level that it can go? It can go pretty far up, actually. In terms of its overbuying. Yeah. 59. There's a huge sell block at 46, which tells me there is a pullback coming. Overall, it's historics. March 2018. What are we at right now? We're in May. So let's see the last time we were up here. July, June, July, April, May. Yep, April or May. How about this one? November, April, September, August, April, May. Yep. Okay, let's do this one. Last May. This last May that had a huge climb. I'm going to take its pullback. Because history loves to repeat itself. About 50% of this. 30 to 50%. I'm still pretty convinced that we could see these zones. By December, probably? Yes. I'm going to have to say. That's very likely. Let's go ahead and just say December is when I'm going to probably be able to get back into Halliburton. Somewhere in that range. Because it is so overbought and it can continue to climb, I do think it will see the $27, $28, maybe $29. I'm sorry. 49, 46, not 20, 40. Before we'll see the pullback. I don't think it's going to climb forever though. I think it's reached its peak of this play. Because we've been in this acclimation-ish zone with that slight pullback, and we're going to have another slight pullback. We're going to do it again. What goes up must come down. Because we've already had a couple of the little ones. And this is that huge push. And then we're going to have to come back about 50%. It's about 25.66. And then we'll continue. Sometimes 30%. 30% would be that 32.74 that I have marked here. And then it can have a little bit of a run and then reject again. Because that's what it do. And that's its habitual. Even though we're in war right now. Like, I still think we're going to have fucking some stoof. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, me too. Once it pulls back, I'm back in. But I'm going to look for entry based off of, like, data. Historical data. I'm telling you, I'm still thinking we're going to get about 25 pullback. Because that's where it's been bouncing the most. And I'll take it. Like, granted, yes, I want to get a little bit lower. But, like we were talking, Eric, like, 25, I think, would be, well, maybe about 26.01. Close to 25, about 26, which would still keep us inside of this triangle, this upward wedge. Well, no, because that one's saying 25.85, dude. I think by December we'll be at that zone, though. I'm telling you. I think it's going to climb a little bit more, and then we're going to start this decline. We're going to cross here. We're going to probably have a slight dip, bounce and bop our head, but we're going to come back in. We're gonna start cooling off. We have to. We're overbought from hell, dude, and it's confirmed. Like, we'll still have a little bit of upside, but once this sell gets hit, we're gonna start seeing that decline, for sure. I'm gonna look around this zone though, like 25.85 to that 28.30, 23. I do have this mark though, 32.74, because that's again another area we kind of like bounce off of, right? But I'm telling you, even if we have this slight pullback, we're going to come back down. Like, it could be this right here. However, listen, right? This is such a strong upward trend that the pullback could be like 50%. So 28, 23. Because we got to validate all this price action. And again, I'm thinking close to December when this, well, that's what says January, but December was what I was looking at. Go here. So somewhere in here is when this, we're going to see this like pullback. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Yeah, dude, for real. Really, I'm gonna slam my shit in there. Pay dividend TSLW. Let me go look. Okay. TSLW. I wonder if I made money today. Hold on, I gotta go check. Cause I think, actually I don't know, cause Metsi may have reversed a little bit. No, I'm still sitting. I need it to go down $3 more and then it'll get me out. Right now I'm up 76%. I could probably leave now though, honestly, and take my 76% and just suffer the $3. I'm gonna replace. I'm gonna put 13. No, I'm willing to pay back 13. I'm gonna take it. Let's see if it'll let me. Oh. No, it has to do in 5 increments. No, I'm not doing it. Nope. Nope. You don't get my money like that. Nah, I'll take 10. I'll wait. It's trying to make me do some stupid ass shit. Hell nah. I will wait my $10. I ain't selling for 15. Bite me. You can bite me, bruh. 25, I'll go all in. Eric, if you go all in, you tell me, and I'm going to move some money to go what is considered my all in. All right? Once $25 hit, we going to buy that hella button because we know what it's capable of. All right, let's look at this fucking... I want to go to the weekly, though. Let's start at the weekly because that's a lot of information. And every time I do a lot of information, I get overwhelmed. So let's just stick to the basics, and then I'll zoom in later. All right, we'll start from the top. We'll go about here. We'll go to about the trend. Still kind of a consolidation. Center of the triangle. About there. Okay, with right below it, which means there's pullback. $19.62 seems pretty reasonable in my eyes. I need to zoom in a little. I need to see where that fucking line is. $19 entry would be really nice. Very, very nice. 2044. We haven't reached that year yet, thank goodness. Not quite there yet. What's the other possibility? Somewhere in there, 1706. I like that. I'll take it. Hell yeah. People are trying to get here. Goofballs. Yes, because everybody's gonna sell Tesla, y'all, or some mentally... 31 cents though. Are they all 31? 14? Oh, 19. Why are we getting 30 cents right now? What's changed here? Did Tesla have a good review or a good thingy? Who? Oh, this is Roundhouse or Round Hill. I'm sorry. This isn't like Yield Max. Round Hill actually has a good reputation. Is that correct, Eric? Dude, that's crazy. $15.04. Okay. So here's what I think. All right. This is only what I think. This is not what I know. This is what I think. Tesla, Mr. Tesla. All right. Let me go to Tesla. Tesla. What are we doing over here, Tesla? Back when I was taking notes, bro. I love how I find random little things from myself. Just like, by the way. But now we know there's 4 different types of option plays. And they're pretty great. I like the other 2 better than the ones that I originally wrote. Alright, let's look here. What we got going on here, Goofy? Mr. Tesla, when you doing a split? Bite me. On the upper side of this. Let's see. We're in a pretty decent incline. We're not quite overbought yet. So this has a little bit more upside before we start rejecting. Which seems to be somewhere around here. This 474. On the off chance though. About 10-day closure though. If we do break below and close, which this could be it right here, January of 2027. On the off chance though, it could be sooner. It could be close. Let's see. When was this? That was July. This is January. This is November. It's December. December. January, August. Maybe we're due for an August. When is August? Right here. We're going to look at August all the way to January of 27. I think this is where we're going to see some more confluency of the pullback that I am kind of predicting here. If not, it's going to be a split on that off chance. According to this, we could see 365.44, which is actually not too far off from my little line here at this 359.99. If we do go here, I am going to go ahead and mark an alert for this, just so we're aware of it when it does happen. Because I don't check Tesla enough because I'm not invested in it. But if it does do that, this is when that pullback is going to happen, and this is where I'm going to start looking for entry on Tesla. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I say or do in this content is strictly for educational entertainment only. Thank you. Absolutely. We're about 2 hours from Power Hour. Power Hour. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, do. It be doing its due. At a G. I get the news. What about Clarity Act? I hope I wrote it right. Didn't get the news. Oh, are you leaving, Eric? You out of here? Oh, yeah. Sleep. Get some rest. Get your sleep, Eric. We'll talk later. Covered calls and took my money and ran. I don't blame you, Eric, at all. At all. Take your money and I'll run. I fought the law and the law won. I needed money 'cause I had none. I fought the law and the law won. That's the song that just came to my mind. Okay, KBLD, what were you talking about in terms of the Clarity Act? Because I don't know much about that. I have to go look because I don't know. Here, I am gonna look for I close. Let's see. I'm gonna go look at this Clarity Act. All right. Clarity Act, Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, HR 3633, is a landmark U.S. legislation designed to create a comprehensive regulatory framework for the cryptocurrency and digital asset industry. Okay, Eric. Get some Z's. Its primary goal. Okay, I just read that. Oh, no. Its primary goal is to establish clear operational rules, protect consumers, and definitive split regulatory jurisdiction between financial watchdogs. The bill established how cryptocurrencies will be regulated and classified in the U.S. SEC and the CFTC. The act clearly defines which agency oversees which asset. The Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, retains oversight over digital assets in the act investment contracts. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, is granted exclusive jurisdiction over the digital commodities spot markets. Blockchain maturity. It provides a pathway for digital assets to mature blockchains and to be certified. The exempt for strict SEC registration. Registration. Yeah, no, that's right. Requirements provide annual sales limits are respected. Segregation of funds. Customer-facing firms like digital commodities brokers and dealers are legally required to segregate customers' funds from their own corporate accounts. Transparencies. Issuers and developers are required to provide robust disclosure regarding their project's ownership, structure, and material risk. Anti-fraud and market abuse. It creates a mechanism to prevent insider manipulation and requires exchanges to implement strict trade monitoring and record keeping. The Clarity Act gained major momentum as the U.S. seeks to regulate the digital asset space to prevent crises like collapse of FTX. The House passed an earlier version with board bipartisan support, and the Senate Banking Committee advanced its compensation version. While praised by the tech and crypto industries for bringing regulatory certainty, it remains highly debated. Critics include certain bank groups and labor unions and law enforcement agencies have voiced concerns that the bill's anti-money laundering (AML) provisions are too weak and it lacks adequate safeguards for traditional banking stability, and that it fails to fully protect pension funds from crypto volatility. For a closer look to the exact text and the legislative status, you can track the bill on the congress.gov. Wow. Very, very nice. So basically, some of it is mostly, English. mostly protective. However, there are still some holes in their legislative stuff. But hey, let's be honest. If they were going to launder, they're already doing it on offshore's account. They've already admitted to that. So let's be honest. Crypto's just another way. And it always will be another way. They're not going to add any more rules and restrictions to their laundering because they're corrupt. So doesn't matter how much we cry and complain. Let's be fucking real. Stop. Okay. Anyways, we are about to enter the age of full digitality. Because we have all these stupid AI centers being built and just destroying wildlife and shit. Which is why I would love to buy a bunch of land, like thousands of acres, and just make sure to turn all my land into protected land. Because fuck you. That's why. Because nobody's going to destroy my planet just because you want to put up some stupid bullshit data center. Now, do I agree with some of the things that we need? Sure, but we don't need 32,000 AI centers or data centers. Sit the fuck down. I said what I said. Sit down. Take a breather. Because humans are declining in population. Calm down. Calm down. That's just my opinion. Blower. Anyway. Just my 2 cents on that regard. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to look up in terms of the market? Or should we just call it a day and I'll just go take a nap too? Because Eric has the right idea. Nap time does seem pretty reasonable at this current time. Damn, this fell a little bit since we charted it last because it's already touching my lines here. It's not a bad thing. It just means that we are going to have this pullback that we were kind of predicting on ZS. And turn it way down. Oh, yeah, it's only 11:21 a.m. here, so it's still morning. And it's already nap time for me. I'm like, yeah, I want to take a nap now. But I've been up since like 6 in the morning, so kind of understandable. And coffee kind of does that to me after a while. You are so very welcome. I'll probably, you know what, I'll probably do it tomorrow too if I can get my ass out of bed at the same time. We'll see though. Don't hold me to it because I'm really bad at keeping my schedule right now. I'm working on it. Doesn't always mean I'm good at it. Hey Joker, Gabe. All right, I'm gonna do all my shout outs. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to TP. Shout out to Gabe, Joker. Shout out to KBLD for all participating and hanging out with me today. Just doing some stock market analysis and stuff like that. And to all my lurkers, hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're not already, subscribe. Much love and appreciate you guys for just hanging out with me today. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so listen, I love to chart. I love to be live and do this because this is how I used to do it. We would sit here and hang out and laugh and joke and stuff. But yeah, it's been a while. I don't stream as much as I used to. Plus, I'm working on like multiple different projects and businesses and stuff like that. So when I do get on, it's when I don't have a lot of projects going on. All right. Love y'all. I will see you next time. Peace.